Now moving on to, again, two of my favorite areas of this type of device. I think this, phone is going to last for such a long time. It's not even funny. This thing had that Apple A13 Bionic chip inside of it. And there were actually a lot of devices that Apple released with this specific chipset. Some iPads, I think some other devices too, I don't really remember. But with that being said, this device is going to last as long as those devices, and Apple isn't going to cut it short. So I feel like this device is going to last a pretty long time in terms of that. But on top of that, the software longevity and the software updates, when I got this phone, I really only had one problem with it. And it was a software issue where it wouldn't reboot properly like once in a while. It was probably like once every 2-3 months I had to reboot my phone. And for some reason it wouldn't reboot properly. I would have to like hold it down an extra long amount of time and kind of, flutter around with the buttons. And eventually it got through. And other than that, I had a very stable experience probably in the beginning with the first 2-3 weeks. Like every other device you have problems. But after that, I had a very stable experience with it and I was extremely happy about it. So that is a really important thing to keep in mind. If I picked up this phone and there were problems left and right for the whole entire year I was using it, then that'd be different. But that's not really the case. I had a really stable experience with it, and that is a really huge thing to say. And the fact that this thing is going to be lasting for an insane long amount of time, you can pick up this phone today, you can pick up this phone next year, you can even pick up this phone like 2 years from now, and it's still going to be lasting for quite a bit of time in terms of software. I see this thing probably ending off probably like 2024, give or take a year or two. So even with that being said, this one's going to last a very long time. It's not ending anytime soon. So in terms of software, that's huge. But in terms of battery life, this was another huge asset of this phone that I just can't believe how good this battery life was. It had a 3046 mAh battery, and you had wireless charging, you had all that good stuff. But the better thing was that this was the first time on a device where I just didn't feel the need to have worry about the battery life all the time. I think the phone that came pretty close to it was probably the iPhone 7 Plus, but every other iPhone I've ever owned, I've always had to kind of keep in the back of my mind, especially my iPhone 6 Plus and my iPhone 10. Those were devices I had to get a battery case for and stuff. And this device, it was so good. I think it's the best battery life I've ever had on a phone, including my iPhone 12 Pro. On iOS 13 on my iPhone 11 Pro, I was getting better battery life than my iPhone 12 Pro right now on iOS 14. So take it as you will, but that was a humongous asset that I had on the iPhone 11 Pro. The battery life is amazing, and I test a lot of phones. I can definitely tell you the 11 Pro has really good battery life for sure. So in terms of those two things, probably the best reasons why I would recommend picking up an iPhone 11 Pro in 2020. Now ending it off.